Hello, I'm Chris. I have many favourite Bible verses that speak to me at different times, and I've taken 3 verses here as there are really no full stops until the middle of verse 3. So this is Isaiah 61, starting at verse 1. The Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is upon me, because the Lord has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to bind up the broken-hearted, to proclaim freedom for the captives and release from darkness for the prisoners, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favour and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all who mourn and provide for those who grieve in Zion, to bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. I love this passage because it speaks of God's nature, his perfect love, his desire to redeem us and reach out to us, to have a relationship with us, to be with us in every situation. So more than 600 years after Isaiah had prophesied the birth of the baby who would be called Emmanuel, God with us, Jesus stood up and read these verses in the synagogue. And then he added, "Today these verses are fulfilled in your hearing." Jesus' life on earth, his teachings, healings and miracles showed us his perfect Father who longs to be our Father. Because Jesus was willing to die on the cross for our failure, to take up our pain and suffering in his own body, to be oppressed and crushed, we can find healing and forgiveness in his sacrifice. The God who stopped at nothing to show us his love is totally for us. There's nothing that we will go through that he has not experienced. He knew what it was to be alone, to be despised and rejected, to mourn. He knew mental and physical torment. It's amazing that God planned it from the beginning, that God knew it would cost him the suffering of his own Son to redeem us, and still he wanted our freedom more, that Jesus was willing to go through it all because he wanted nothing to separate me or you from God. The joy of the relationship he desires with us enabled him to scorn the shame of the cross. He overcame death, and all authority has now been given to him. His power is not limited by anything we face. And now he's given us his Holy Spirit so we can know the power of his presence with us, to comfort us, to heal the wounds in our minds and bodies, and to set us free to share this gift with anyone who wants to receive his forgiveness and love.